Good morning, group. Another day, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Today for Ruppert in the morning, we're going to do the exact same thing as yesterday morning. I'm going to revisit the touchpads and increase the criteria a little bit more. I'm going to keep the same distance, and I'm going to work on a better 180-degree turn and then a stay onto the touchpad with more movement from me. So I'm also going to work on the discrimination of the cue and make sure that he doesn't leave the touchpad if he hasn't received any cue. So that's my plan. And of course, the dogs are in charge of that plan, and yeah, they have the power to change that if they're not complying with my plan. So we need to be very flexible in doing that. So it's a very chilly morning. It's about 39 degrees right now. Pretty blue skies. Well, it's a light blue. Some foggy clouds in the back, and then in the hills you don't even see the hills. It's just all fog. Everything in the back is covered in clouds. But today a busy day, lots of clients. We have lots of behavior modification today. We're of course going to work with our new friend Bella. Keep working on the prey sensitivity and control. We probably do some more puppy work today. And then in the afternoon, we might do another touchpad session or some engagement with Ruppert in another location. I might drive him to the park. It really depends on how busy my day is and how much time there's left in the afternoon to travel. In any case, so I'm gonna put these dogs in their kennels, and I will see you in the session with Ruppert. So here we are back in our session. First session of the training block. I'm gonna emphasize on the turns here. Nice. That was 180. That was nice, 180 and self-correcting to be on the touchpad. I'm very happy. There you go. So as you can see, I'm waiting a little bit until Ruppert gives me the right behavior. Rewarding him for staying onto the touchpad. As part of my discrimination process. Nice. He's staying better on the touchpad compared to yesterday. Need a little bit better turn. There you go, and he figured it out. Depending on how this training block goes, I might add a audible cue, the next training block. So far, very consistent. No. And you can see that he made a mistake here. Ruppert. Come on, bud. So part of the discrimination process is not to reward uncued attempts. Just gonna wait until the turn's a little bit better. There you go. Okay, good so, come on, yeah, flinkje. So I think that was an awesome first session. You know, lots of improvement. His turns are better. The discrimination is better, although he made one mistake. I think we definitely gained compared to yesterday. No. And he broke. Let's try it again. He was tempted to leave the touchpad, but he didn't. And the reason why is because I gave him a little bit of help with my movement forward there. Not so good turn. I'm gonna see if I can wait and make him turn a little bit more. That's better. Nice. I delayed the food here until he turned a little bit straighter. Oké. Goed zo, ventje. Flinke. Ja, flinke. Goed zo, jongen. Goed zo. Ja, flinke. Good so. And again, watch out for the arousal level of the dog when arousal levels go up in these exercises where they need to concentrate and focus. Often the concentration in the exercise is a little bit diminished. So we need to watch out with our vocalization. And because vocalization is stimulation, if your dog is sensitive to, the good voice and stuff, try to be as quiet as possible. And although I'm talking into this session, it is a big no-no to talk into your session, as we learned that if we talk during our work, the dog can pick up our voice as learned irrelevance. He's going to think that everything that comes out of my mouth is irrelevant. So although I'm explaining everything what I'm doing, I shouldn't be doing that. And I just saved myself here. Important when we're teaching is let the behavior be leading, and that means your behavior versus his behavior and his behavior in relationship to your behavior as response. So this is not good enough. I'm not going to give him a click for that. I want to see what he does. I'm going to move a little bit. There you go. Good job. So with a little bit of manipulation of my body, I was able to get him into a straighter position. Okay, game over, jongen. So guys, this was my training block from this morning. What we have learned is that Ruppert made progress with the turns. There were, I would say, 8 out of the 10 tries. There was a much straighter position than yesterday. So job well done. The discrimination process, he made one mistake where I needed to reset the exercise. Overall, very, very positive experience, I think, for him and for me. We have increased, the duration onto the touchpad. We increased the clarity in our communication. We have better discrimination between the cued attempts and the uncued attempts. So very happy with this guy. And then after good work, he gets his social contact. Like I said, this is very stimulating for him. So if I would do this too much inside the session, that would destroy his focus. So I do this after good work. So depends on how the day goes. I will make a decision what we're going to do this afternoon. But I will see you then. Okay, bye-bye. So we're in the afternoon session with Ruppert. I decided to stick with the touchpad exercise. I did increase the criteria by moving the touchpad about a foot further apart. The other way I'm going to increase the criteria is by asking him again a better 180% turn, a increased duration onto the touchpad, increased motion from myself, and I'm going to keep working on the discrimination. Again, discrimination with visual cues is one of the most important aspects or important parts of our dog training. Without proper discrimination, the dog will get eventually confused. So to recap discrimination, what do we want is that the dog only responds after the cue is given, that he only responds with a proper behavior to that cue, and that no other behavior will be present onto the cue, and that without the cue, that behavior does not exist. So That is why when Ruppert anticipates going from one touchpad to the other without the cue, he is not going to get reinforced. So let me go get him and I will see you in this. So there we go, guys. I've got Ruppert. I have one spectator in my my class here. And again, I am not going to reinforce that because I haven't cued it. And now I'll cue it. I have Charlie working in the breezeway, so he's making a little bit of noise. That's why Ruppert is looking at the door. So again, what I'm doing here is working on the discrimination by giving him different body languages and body positions so that he can't anticipate, and he is reinforced for staying onto the touchpad until I give the visual cue. And there we have the 180 degrees, turning towards the handler after I send him to a particular place. So same thing here, I'm reinforcing for staying onto the touchpad without a cue. He's a little bit crooked, however, he positioned himself. So you see he's getting confused because the touchpad moves. It's a little bit more slippery there. So sometimes I put a little rubber bead onto my touchpad, so the touchpad has a little bit more traction, and so it prevents everything from sliding. And here we see a good example of the stay exercise. So even when I move away from him, the dog learns that he needs to stay. And that's why I like to use an object, because eventually a sit, a down, and a stand will be added to this touchpad work, and that is how I train my sit stay and down stay. Another great benefit of using the touchpad is that the dog learns to control himself. He knows the fridge is behind him, so he doesn't make the turn. Okay, so I'm gonna help him a little bit. And like I said before, watch out with the arousal level, because if he is so sensitive to being petted that if we give him too much rewards with petting and using our voice, the arousal level goes up, and then the dog is unable to concentrate. A mistake that many people make is they're actually too happy for their dogs, and then, like I said, the energy level, the arousal level goes up, and the dog's brain is literally shut down and can't think anymore. And they're basically just in a higher state of drive. And again, he's anticipating, which is not going to be reinforced. That is part of the discrimination process. Another reason why I like to use the touchpads is, like I said before, using objects increase learning and increase memory. Dogs make easier associations when an object is involved. So what I can do if I go outside, for instance in the park, is take my touchpad, and now there is a visual reference of behavior that he has done, and it will be much easier for me to train engagement when my touchpad is there, because I can put my touchpad in the field and he'll know what to do, is to touch it and to look at me. I'm gonna wait until he straightens out a little bit more before I reward him. There you go. Okay, so session number 2 went really well. I'm gonna give him a little break here and give him a little bit of extra rewards. Okay, once he does that, that's too much. Okay, I'm gonna send him over because that was not the cue. You can see what it does with his energy level when I pet him too much. So it was a good real-life example that when I pet him and too much, that he cannot think. And I see that with a lot of people. They're too happy with some particular dogs, and with other dogs they're not happy enough. Nice. I'm gonna send him over one more time. So I'm able to increase the duration on the touchpad, which is nice. Okay. Good boy. And I'm gonna stop the session here. Game over, buddy. So that was my second session from the day. What we've seen is that Ruppert did well. There was 2 instances of anticipation where he left the touchpad and went to the other touchpad, and you could see the anticipation in the beginning of the session where he where he went to the touchpad by himself, because the touchpads for him is also a visual cue. The duration was great. The 180 is a lot better. You could see that also when the touchpad was too close to the refrigerator, he was actually aware of the refrigerator in his peripheral vision and didn't make the turn. Then we moved the touchpad and it went better. After the second session, I gave him his physical and social rewards, and you could see that I overdid it a little bit. His arousal level was too high, and you can see that the dog was more bouncy between the touch pads and wasn't able to concentrate as much. But overall, I think we increased our behaviors. We had some fun, and I'm going to stick with this exercise for the next 2 sessions. I'm going to put it on an audible cue, and then slowly but surely I'm going to start shaping a sit and a down onto that touchpad. So for today, this was it, and I will see you in the next session.